Hello, everyone. My name is Jaden Homer, and on my team is Kyler Rosquist, Paolo Pomapia, and Chris Young. And our capstone is the app SocialFit. In this presentation, we will learn about the problem and our unique solution to the problem, demonstrate our app and its functionality, evaluate our target users, and analyze the feedback that we collected from our users, and finally go over some of our lessons learned on our project. So how we decided on this problem to solve is essentially we wanted to transform the exercise experience to make it fun and social. We all have had poor experiences organizing social and active events because organizing events is inconvenient. Finding the right strangers for events is fun if you want to meet new people. And we wanted to solve this problem by creating an app. So a little bit more about the problem. We found that 60% of people, specifically that we surveyed, express interest for something besides just weightlifting and exercise, something a bit more social. But the two main things that prevented people from participating in these kind of social and active activities was they didn't know enough people to create the event, as well as it was hard to kind of coordinate the schedules of a bunch of different people to actually make a fun social event, active event. And our solution to this problem was an app called SocialFit. In this app, people can create profiles, they can join and create events, as well as find events that are upcoming nearby that they might potentially be interested in, and make it very easy to coordinate and check into different events to make them actually happen. And so 3 specific outcomes that we decided on while we were creating this app is we wanted it to be easy to use. We figured that if it's not easy to use, people won't use it. It needs to be easier than text and word of mouth or Facebook, which was the top alternatives to this solution. We wanted it to be an engaging experience, so we wanted people to be able to engage with other people on the app, as well as, be able to filter, use user input to make the app more customized to each particular user. And lastly, we really wanted to build confidence, since the app focuses on kind of facilitating strangers meeting up and participating in these social events. We want to make it so that the app had ways to build confidence that these events were safe. So our first outcome, to make it easy to use, we have multiple ways to find events. So there's people can put in a bunch of different filters, as well as view maps to look at nearby events and filter events to the types of events that they are looking for, as well as when creating events, provide tags and things that make it easier for other people to filter those events and find and get people to join your event. Well, we wanted to make it an engaging experience by making it easy to engage with other people. So on the app, everyone creates a profile, and you're able to see other people's profiles, the events that they like. You can follow people, and so you'll be notified when they create events. And you can subscribe to people and get notified for their different activities, as well as there's a variety of events. And our last outcome that we worked on was we wanted to build confidence. So in the app, we have a participant list, so you can see the people who are coming to event and view their profile, as well as you can also filter down to events, in specific safer areas, or events that are more casual versus competitive, to find events that people will feel safe attending. A few other novel aspects as part of the app that really put it far above the other alternatives, such as text or Facebook, is skill level filters. It's very common that people will be creating an event and they want it to be competitive, or they just want it to be casual, and it's tough to find a group of people who all want it to just be competitive or casual. And so that helps create an event where everybody who's attending really actually wants to attend, Plus, we have event tags. So this is just all the other tags that can be applied to specific events to make it easy for people to find ones that fit them, as well as following other users, which makes it easy to be current with the events that are happening, and makes it easier to have recurring events.
In terms of implementation, we wanted to make sure that SocialFit matches our outcomes that we presented early in the semester. For instance, the tech stack that we use on SocialFit was React Native, Firebase, and Google Maps. We use these technologies because they allow us to produce an application that was easy to use. Um, we will show you a demo later on the slides, but for now, we implement a lot of multiple designs that help users have easy access and also experience that is not cumbersome in our application. Also, we wanted to build confidence and also make sure that our users have an enjoyable experience. Um, all these technologies allow us to create filters, animations, and overall an application that was simple and accessible for everybody to use. Now we will show you a quick demo on how SocialFit works. We will present you how we create and also how we join an event. So first of all, SocialFit will try to gather your location. It will take just a few seconds to get your location. Really quickly, you can find that there are a few filters that you can use right away. Once you press on the go button, um, you're gonna go and check or see the tab of the list of events that are near you. We will click on badminton, for example, and you can see multiple event details that you can find. We can decide on join the event, and once we join the event, we can add it to our calendar. Once we go and add it to our calendar, we can go back and check all the details. So, for example, location, and it will display some information, or we can also see the participants that are going into the event. Now we go back and now we can go and click on the tab for the map for the event for that shows the events that are located in our map. We can see that similarly it displays all the events details, and if we, for example, join an event and then we decide to unjoin it, we can just click unjoin and it would just unjoin us from the event. Now we will show you how to create a new event. We will need a few specific information from the user, such as the event type, and also event description. We also need to put other information too, such as the address of where the event is going to take place, and also we will need to input the date and time. We can see that SocialFit is really responsive in the case that it quickly gathers your location to the places near you and recommends you a location where you want to host your event. Then we can also use our filters such as the skill level and also the amount of people that we want to invite into the event, and also the minimum age or the maximum age of the participants. Once we create the event, it's gonna show you all the details that you inputted. It's gonna create the events for you. SocialFit is already deployed into test flight, and we really want you to be our user. We have a growing user base, and we invite you to use our QR code to download SocialFit.
Okay, next we're going to be talking about the evaluations that we did for SocialFit. So during the design phase of our application, we tried to target two types of people that we envisioned using this app, or two personas, if you will. And the first is right here, Shy Sally. You know, Sally wants to be able to play some more soccer in her life. And, you know, right now she's going to school. She's really busy with classes and work, but, you know, she wants to play soccer more and get in some exercise that way. And her two biggest blockers are, one, her busy calendar and lack of time to consistently, you know, go and play. And then the second is that, you know, she wants to be able to go to a field, play some soccer, but she doesn't know enough people to invite them. And so SocialFit helps Sally because she can go into the app, browse upcoming soccer events, find one that works for her, and then go to it as an extra player and be able to meet some new people that way. Our second persona is Social Steve. Steve is working full time, and he really loves to play basketball. He used to play in high school, and he loves to get some competitive games going when he can. And so Steve, he wants to get a good workout while playing and also meet some new people and find a regular crew to play with. But the hard part for Steve is that when he goes to the rec center or wherever else to play, the level of competition that he's facing isn't good enough. And it's hard for him to make new connections with his work schedule. So SocialFit, again, enables Steve to select the type of competition that he wants to show up to an event, and also, browse other types of basketball open gyms that have an elite level of competitions that he can get a good workout while playing basketball. And so, like we talked about earlier, we asked some of the people that we surveyed and that tested our app to respond with, the alternative methods and platforms that they use to schedule and organize events currently. And we found that, most of our users, approximately close to 80%, are using text to send out group messages to schedule with their friends. And of course, word of mouth and Facebook as well. And so compared to these benchmark comparisons, we wanted to, look across our three core components: ease of use, engagement, and confidence, and see how users felt that SocialFit compares to their usual method. And so in this first chart, we can see that, users were easily able to create a new event. Approximately 80% of users felt this way. And it turns out that the remaining number of users were just slightly confused when it came to a label on a button that had a plus sign instead of a new event sign. And so that was some really useful feedback that we got. And we felt that if we implement that change, then, our responses will go up to 100%. We're easily able to create a new event. Secondly, our core outcome was engagement. We don't want to have an app where no one's using, or if someone does download it but can't find the events that they want, or can't find as many as often as they want, that's just not going to be a successful launch for us. And so we surveyed our testers to see how often they could see themselves using SocialFit. And we're really pleased to see that 90% of our users would see themselves using the app one or more times a month, and some of these a couple times a week even. And this is right on track with what we thought people would be using the app for. And a couple times a month would be great, and be able to keep a sustainable number of events going throughout the platform. And finally, our third outcome was confidence. And we wanted to see, how people felt about SocialFit, and, whether they feel comfortable with going to events that they don't know anybody. And, that's a hard thing, because everyone that we talked to said they even feel a little bit nervous when going to group outings that they're invited to over text. So how much more with SocialFit when they don't know anybody? And so we asked them how comfortable they felt. And then specifically with our features, we asked, how does the ability to view participant or organizer profiles affect your confidence? And, 95% of our users said, their confidence was increased when they can click into an event, go to the profile of those that organized it, see who they are, who they're like, and also they can see the profiles of those planning on attending. And something else interesting that we found was that, if someone clicks on an event and they see that someone else that they know, a friend, is going to that event, their confidence increases exponentially. There's virtually no nervousness or anxiety after that to attend events where they just know at least one person. And so overall, we're really pleased with, those lessons learned.
To finish off our presentation today, I wanted to share 3 lessons that we learned while working on SocialFit. We think they'll be useful to you if you ever found yourself working on a similar project. And so the first one is that, ironically, your app needs to be highly social, more social than ours. we got a lot of feedback from people that they wanted the app to be more integrated with Facebook or Instagram so that they could do a little bit of stalking on other users. And one example scenario that might apply to is if you're considering going to a SocialFit event, but you're not sure if the organizer is a real person, they don't have like a true profile photo of themselves, or even if they do, you just want to feel a little safer about who they are before you commit to the event. Similarly, people wanted a verified user system so that once you have completed an event, you can then go to each of the people that were there and say, yeah, those are real people, they're cool. And that helps everybody in the app community feel a little bit better about using the app. The third piece of making your app more social is the ability to share specific pieces or screens, so that rather than just sending a general invite link saying, hey, download this app, rather than just doing that, you could go to one of our SocialFit events and share a link to that would allow other people to see that once they download the app. So the next lesson that we learned is that confidence is key. Through surveying and interviews, we saw that a lot of people are actually more comfortable using text or Facebook or word of mouth compared to SocialFit. And that actually makes sense, because if you received a text from a friend saying, hey, come join our basketball game or something like that, you'd feel comfortable because you know the people that are going to be there. But if you're then transitioning to SocialFit, where most of the people at events are likely to be strangers, that makes sense that you'd feel less comfortable doing that. In follow-up questions to our surveys and interviews, people did report that they would feel significantly more comfortable if they knew at least one other person going. So keep that in mind as you're trying to build confidence in the use of your app. And then finally, our third lesson is that you don't want to sacrifice clarity for real estate space on the screen. And one example of that is we had a task for people to go create a new SocialFit event, but some people couldn't find their way there. They didn't realize that we have this button that's just a plus hovering button on the screen, and they didn't realize that they had to click that in order to get to the event creation screen. So those people, they told us that they would have actually preferred just having a simple button that said new event or something that was really, really clear. Because when it's not clear, your users are likely to avoid clicking on those things for fear of what could happen. They don't want to embarrass themselves. So those are the 3 lessons we wanted to share. And then last of all, we wanted to invite you to go download our app. It is available on TestFlight. A lot of the feedback we received from others is that it's a fun app and that they would use it if it were available on the App Store today. You'll notice that the UI isn't as beautiful as it could be, and a lot of people have also said that to us, but we think you'll like it. And we thank you for watching our presentation today.